everybody. This is Dimensions of the Supernatural. I'm Maureen Grudzinski. I'm here with my great co-host, Anthony Simonelli, otherwise known as...
Mr. Forget About It. How you doing tonight?
We are here with an amazing guest. You will know him from the show 28 Days Haunted. He is a sweetheart. He's here with us. I'm going to bring him in. This is... G Thompson.
Hey guys, some breaking things.
He's right now on location.
How's everyone doing today? Thank you, by the way, so much for thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you so much for being here.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Really am. We met over in Mass.
I'm in a haunted location, so reception.
Well, yeah. I when I met you at the MassCon, I figured, why not give you, and before Friday the 13th, so you said you were free, so here you are. He's froze again.
Cutting in and out.
It's the spirits.
Let me go deeper. It's hey.
Ghost.
So, can you guys hear me better now?
We can see you and hear you. But you keep on going in and out. Well, you keep on freezing like, those faces when you freeze up?
They're wonderful faces. You know what? I'll go right here. We'll let me fix this real quick. Everyone will see it's all about live, right? I'll go ahead and we'll get some light going my way.
Okay. Dedicated paranormal investigator. Not only comes on the show, he comes on at a haunted location and die hard.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, at least you're not going to be locked there 28 days.
Oh my gosh, that's the nightmare. Something, right? Yeah, this place is pretty awesome. We just got done rocking an event this weekend over here, and it was just charged. And we've already had people that's booking spots at the Rock Island Haunted YMCA. I tend to make my awesome rings there, so I'm hanging out and getting to know the unseen quite a bit, and they're getting more and more active.
Yeah.
So
thank you again, by the way, guys, for having me. This is awesome. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm excited.
Maybe we see one of your guests come in from behind you. So maybe it's a joke, maybe not, because we do what we do. I did a podcast episode here with David Glidd, and super cool dude, and we actually caught an EVP like live on the. We figured out afterwards before getting it out, but yeah.
Potential.
As an investigator, even Maureen, we're going to keep on not looking at you, but behind you and see if anything moves.
Oh man, yeah.
That's what we do.
I love it. Let's start opening some doors.
We're looking behind you, see if anything opens up. The door.
Yeah, maybe I should we'll angle it to this door right here.
Light blinks or something, anything.
Anthony's like a good catcher of those things.
Good catch. They got those doors. Those doors are it's a key location to the big part of the haunt throughout the area. I was in the basement, which it doesn't get the best reception. I think that's the issue I was having right away. Mm-hmm. I thought it'd be cool. It'd be a super cool backdrop. I'll see if I can work something in the future to make that a little more clear. But
that'd be awesome.
Right.
I love those dark, damp locations, and you go in there by yourself, and it's the best.
I like the very tropical locations.
Here we go.
I'm kidding.
A mojito in hand. We get different kind of spirits, right?
Different type of spirit.
So, Aaron, tell us about how you started with everything that you're doing. I mean, obviously everyone is very interested in your 28 Days Haunted, but you had to begin someplace like everyone else.
Yeah, it's, I think we all have unique stories, right? Unique foundational points
Yeah,
of
we all
our,
got something that started us off.
right. It's cool to hear how folks individually got in, but I'll tell you, I I got in because I didn't believe. I really wholeheartedly didn't believe that this stuff even existed. I was scared of death for some odd reason. So
Hmm.
back in actually slightly before 1999, I started percolating this fear of death that I knew was irrational for the most part at the time. Like, what am I doing thinking of that? So I started asking my peers, teachers, ministers, people coaches, who I deemed intelligent and close to my world. I asked them the simple question, and it was only this question. It was my I say my gateway drug question to everything that we're doing now. But it was, do ghosts exist? And half of them said yes, half of them said no. Um, all with the same exact response, just because. And I'm like, I feel like there's more. I feel like I was a science mind. I feel like there has to be science, science, science. Um, so if you wanted something done, you got to do it yourself, type thing. So I wholeheartedly, in 1999, I started my journey, and I opened up books and just started teaching myself techniques.
Mhm.
I didn't want to know objective ideas. I wanted to keep it subjective, and I wanted to be very open, religious format,
Mhm.
and scientific format. I just wanted to go as incredibly unbiased as I possibly can, and it was all for me. It wasn't at all for the humans. Even nowadays, I say I'm pretty greedy because I'm following the data, and that's what's leading me to these moments. It's fascinating, though. I definitely had my aha moments. Uh, it took the moment of marrying metaphysical with science that really allowed me to explode in some theory ideas, some experiments that are more objectable, and it's fascinating. But yeah, long journey, hustle. I didn't really take breaks. I'll be honest with you. It was a full hit. Um, because I'm almost obsessed with it. I love it so much, that I just think about it differently. And it was always for me. It was for me. It wasn't for a TV show. It wasn't for someone else. Um, it was, if I would figure out a moment of truth that seemed like a fit for me. It seemed like a fit for the data and everything in this.
Yeah.
You know how many people would hate me? And mind you, people do not like some of the research that I do,
Mhm.
because it contradicts value points. And I have to understand that now. I'm fine with that. I can sleep at night, with my
Yeah.
research. But yeah, it's a very strange thing. But I'm obsessed with just afterlife research. I call it now. I say I'm an afterlife researcher. I always have been. I just didn't know the label or what I wanted to call myself.
Everything's labeled nowadays. It's
Oh
like
my! I
everything's
I told the
labeled.
podcast. I go, call me a hot dog. I said something like that, something like food. I go, I don't care what you call me, ghost hunter, hot dog. I go, just do the work.
Yeah.
Do the
Right.
work. You know.
When I first started this, it was I didn't even know the word. Everything was supernatural. Everything was called supernatural when I first started. And all of a sudden, TV starts. Well, now it's paranormal. But everything was supernatural when I started off.
I didn't even know what a ghost hunter was when I was
Yeah.
researching to hunt ghosts. I guess.
Yeah.
I that's when I started coming across these terms. I'm like, oh, this is a actual thing people do.
Hmm.
Some people at least.
I don't like that terminology.
It's marketing. I mean, I have no emotional attachment to it. It's whatever. Paranormal investigator sounds weird. It sounds like I have to go to a school. That seems I'm not as Bigfoot or UFOlogy or xenology or whatever. I'm the ghost guy. So afterlife researcher just feels
I
right,
like that. I really do. And I never
and
heard
I
any.
think we all do that, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and I agree with you. Ghost Hunter is the goofiest comic, one of them all, but
Well,
marketing.
I've been going Ghostbuster.
Oh, dude, I would so like I would totally rock a Ghostbusters team.
I was like, hey, you're the real life.
Egon.
I was like, I guess we want to, because when it comes to certain things, when people ask me questions and they're not into it as much as we are,
Right.
you try to get them to understand something that they would understand. And Ghostbusters, stuff on TV,
Uh huh.
ghost hunters, paranormal investigators, they understand that. You know, so it's like anything you call yourself, it has to go back to that because people that are not as much as or just fascinated with it,
Right.
they're only used to those words and all those terms.
And it's funny, even with and there's a lot of really, I gotta say, smart terms that we should probably be using, like debunk. I actually don't like the word debunk. It
Mhm.
never made sense to me. Even early on, I didn't like the word debunk. Of course, the TV shows came out and they started, ghost hunters, popularize that word. I understand the concept, but what you're saying to the client is, you are crazy. You haven't seen anything. It was a door, or whatever the case may be. Right? There's elements or there's layers to it, and
Mhm.
scientifically, honestly, you can't disprove anything scientifically. You can only prove the existence of something. So when you
Yeah.
debunk something, what's that say? That says nothing. That says I
Mhm.
know how you know pipes work. It doesn't say that there wasn't a reaction, an atmospheric reaction of an emotional anomaly that took place in a consciousness state for someone, right? Like,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, when we find something that is actually um, not a spirit, and we actually find out what the reason is behind it. We always explain it. If I have a client, I explain, it's this, this, and this.
Right.
Okay. Um, Later on, you might use the word debunked, but I always explain what we found or what it could be,
And I think
because
that's different, right? And I think debunk might be a short term to get to that, but I think a lot of
yeah,
people use it in the context of no ghosts were there
yeah,
because
that's
of this.
debunked. I mean, you got to explain to people, what's going on in their home. You can't make
Right.
them sound like you can't make them feel like they're crazy.
That's that's what all my clients in the 2000s. That's the reason why I was talking with them, so they know they're not crazy.
Yeah,
I told them we're all a little bit crazy, but
yeah. Well,
yeah, I'll see what
I
we got.
tell them, since I'm into the paranormal, people think I'm crazy all the time.
Oh, of course, you absolutely are. I love it.
Sure. I'm crazy. So you're not crazy. You're seeing something, but maybe I'm not catching it. I can't really debunk everything.
Exactly. You can explain
Maybe
some
it's not
possibilities of
active at those
normal,
times. You know.
objectable. Yeah, I'm 100% with you there, Anthony.
Mhm.
And I've been saying a lot, and maybe Maureen, maybe you might get on this. I'm not sure if you probably more. I see witchy now. You're definitely more metaphysical vibes. It's just me throwing it out, which is awesome because there's a huge element of that, and you guys probably work phenomenally together, no doubt.
We hate
It,
each other.
Yeah.
yeah, I got that too. I didn't want to say it since it's live, but I'm like, meow. um, it's no coincidence, right? Like, I'm sure you've got rid of that vocabulary of, oh, it must be a coincidence. Like, there's no coincidence.
No.
And even thinking about it more, I feel like coincidence itself well, of course, is supernatural in nature. So we might see that door like behind me open up, and there might be a pressure or a draft or some explanation for it, but that it happened at the time that we're talking about coincidence,
Hmm.
that is pretty
It's just
spectacular. And I think we need to start looking at those little tidbits.
Yeah. I see Ron is on. Ron Yacovetti.
Ron, cool.
Where
We were
we do,
talking, I think, the other day.
yeah, we're doing that Staticom stuff.
Ron, I love you, man. I'm going to reach out to him and his wife here very soon. Yeah. Well, I'm working on speak with him. I'm such a nerd and so thankful for such a good community we really have. There's always like thumbtacks that we sit on in our field, in every field. Um,
Hmm.
but if you can kind of get calluses on those thumbtacks, no, that's the worst thing. No, but yeah, there's good people, and if you definitely can see through that. I mean, I
they
think
are
we're some of the best
definitely
people.
one of the good ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
It's
mean, it's
cool.
a good group I run with. Ron and Lourdes also. But I mean, the people I run with is pretty much my tight net people. You go
Right.
in positive. We're positive people. You go in positively, and you get a lot of stuff. You
I
really do.
agree. Always going positively. I mean, we adjust appropriately, but it always still stays on that positive tone.
Yeah. So you go in positive, and through the years, I've been doing this a long time. So, you know, uh,
It sounds like it. Thank you, by the way, for your service. Seriously, I
thank
don't
you.
think we get thanked enough for it. People don't understand. It's a weird thing, but people that are hitting it hard, that's been in there for a hot second and really wiggling the waves.
It's appreciative. It's appreciative for me. Even seeing, what Ron and his wife what we're doing, they're hitting it. They're putting in the time. I'm thankful for that because they're allowing me as a researcher to think alternatively, to utilize a different idea, a different tactic, and a different device to, maybe it goes somewhere, maybe it doesn't, but that's not the point. The point is we're doing stuff. And honestly, it's going somewhere. So spoiler alert.
I've been with them and doing that for a while. So it's like,
cool.
Every time you see pictures of them, I'm usually in the background, photo bombing somewhere.
It was a real good group. I like the East Coast. I've been getting there quite a few times this year so far. So I plan on keeping that going.
I hope. Maybe we'll get together and we'll do an investigation together.
You bet. Yeah, like a actual investigation. Some people say, "Oh, we investigated, X, Y, and Z," but really they just did giant events, which is fun.
Yeah.
I don't really count those as boots to the ground because there's contamination and there's all sorts of other elements I'm sure you're aware of.
When you do the Trans Allegheny, then West Virginia Penitentiary or even Pennhurst,
right?
And now, then you do those events and stuff like that. It's like, oh, okay, walk around, it's fine, But when you come down, maybe we could get you to Shirley Hotel.
Yeah. Absolutely. Someone told me about that when I was down there before. And I kept going, Stanley Hotel? And they're like, no, Shanley Hotel. I'm like a generic ripoff version? No.
Definitely not.
So this is Midwest me.
Midwest. It's a really awesome place.
I've heard.
Crazy.
Bordello, and you sleep at the hotel overnight and stuff like that. And we had a great time. And I've been there so many times. And, when you come down, get in touch with me, Ron, and we'll get you in.
I say my other half and I, we both do this together. So getting her on more exciting adventures, and of course, the invisible ladies of some areas already stated that they don't like her. Sorry, boo. I'm sorry.
That'd be great if you come down and we could set something up.
Yeah. We'll see if we can work something. I know next year I'll be bouncing back there quite a bit, and this year I only got one more in Indiana. Yeah, it's in November, but yeah, we'll definitely follow back.
So you're not going tomorrow. I'm leaving with Ronald Waters to go see the premiere of Death Walker.
Oh, nice.
So it's up in Buffalo. It's like a 7-8 hour ride for us. So we're leaving tomorrow, and we're gonna head up there. And
where's it at?
It's in Buffalo. The actual location. Ron's gonna drive me. So.
I mean, I can't go, unfortunately. I'm locked into a project for the next 2 months here. Pretty much on Sunday and Monday beyond. But I gotta say, Nick Groff, shout out to him, awesome dude. He was kind enough to actually become a talent agent of mine, which is super bonkers to say, right? This was years ago when we were associated with VidiSpace, the network that him and Saint created. So he did that, and he didn't want any money from these TV shows that were reaching out to me, which again was mind blowing because I didn't understand that. But he just wanted to utilize his lawyers and his contacts to go over the contracts that I was getting, because I was getting overwhelmed. There was a moment where I was just reached out to. I'm not tooting my own horn, but it got overwhelming. It literally, I wanted to do a thing if this is going to help me get my name out so I can do more of the science and make a wiggle. I didn't want to do the wrong thing. And there's a moment I'm like, Nick, help. and he got it turned around real quick. And, nothing came of those, thankfully. They were terrible. I was first year, they were doing some stuff to try to get me, with not the best contracts. So I waited, and good things happen. And my goal was always the science and development. I could do that with a network or without a network.
That's so awesome. He really has the kindest heart.
He
Like,
does.
to talk to him, you're like, oh my God, it's Nick Roth, you know,
He's
and
so
you're
funny.
making fun of him, but he loves to tell stories, and his laugh is amazing, and he's just a sweetheart. Like,
He
working
is. He really is. Yeah. So someday I'll bump elbows with him again, and I know he's busy. And I think some people don't understand the busyness of some people. I don't want to use the word talent. I mean, I get it, but I just heard something. There's yeah, it's just it's interesting because we smile and we try to be as open as possible, but kind of pointing back to Nick is blindingly busy, and I tell people this all the time, and it's kind of a characteristic of a lot of people doing work in what we do. And I think his flag is let's get an instrument and let's give it to Nick. I don't think Nick's going to create the big instrument or he's going to make the big theory. I don't feel like that's his role. I feel like his role is to provide the best data that he can with the devices that he's able to utilize in a presentation format. And that's how, honestly, that's how movement forward is going to happen, at least in that aspect.
Yeah, but I'm going to finally meet him this weekend, so hopefully.
If you get him, yeah, he's a nerd. He's honestly, him and I are a lot alike, just with our energy level. He's
your personality
very energetic,
very much similar to his.
He's that's something that he even he told us. I hope he does it. Whatever. He pulled on me and my buddy Nick Simons. We do so much work together. Love the guy, and we years ago met him for the first time. Actually caught us on video because I wanted the video of us running into him the first time. It's kind of a cool video. But he told us that he likes, I'll use the words, likes the way that we are approaching the field because we're lighthearted, as you said, Anthony, positive, and we're just fun. We're almost goofballs, like we're mad scientists, crazy in a sense. And that's him. Honestly, he's right there with us. But he started a TV show that was so serious in nature, he can't adjust. I don't feel smoothly, and at least at the time, he knew he couldn't just do a full, real him. What you see is real him. I mean, it's serious stuff, but he just has to put a different mask on, different layer that's legit just for that presentation. Just like me, I'm not like a goofball just slacking around all the time. I got like things running in the head going, oh man, this is it, like, let's do this. Different way of thinking, but it's good.
Yeah, I like that because I when I go to investigation, I don't go in crazy. I just go in mellow. Anybody asks, I go in mellow. Stuff happens. I don't go. Oh,
I always get surprised. I always get surprised.
I always go in, and like I said, when you get to a certain point, like something falls in front of you, like, okay, why did I do that? I'm not like
oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I always go in expecting something. So when something happens, I don't really react to it as
I
much
run
as I
towards
should.
it. Right.
Unless I get hit or something.
Excuse me. I do run towards it, which I find fascinating. But and I can't speak on how other people investigate, right? Like, it's so hard because even if I compare like a YouTube show or another TV show, that might not be a representation of how they dance, and I know that. I get that. So I can just tell you from what I hear and what I experience, people tend to run from the crazy noise, which surprises me because we are researchers and I got to see what happened. I'm so fascinated with the mechanics of this thing that I'm noticing my body's reacting. And I got to say, Maureen, you probably can speak on this a lot when you get that fuzz all over your body and you're like, okay, something's happening. I've always been aware of that and felt that in some capacity, but since this TV show, it's really ramped up, and I think I've accepted it even passively. And lately, after Salem, honestly, it's been I've been feeling it a lot more, and it's fascinating. It's fascinating because if I'm getting bad takes on my on the device I'm utilizing for spirit communication, I just walk around a second until I feel like that super uncomfortable fuzz, and we're back on. It's like it's a literal ghost hunting. I'm like, okay, this is an interesting game.
So it's new. We'll see.
Do
We'll
you
see what it
only
is.
get like that fuzz feeling, or do you have other things that you feel or hear, sense?
To be continued. A lot of this stuff, literally. So we met a couple weeks ago. A lot of that stuff ramped up at Salem, and I'm still talking to some people, going, "Huh, I'm the analyzing guy, the science guy. I get the metaphysical, I understand it. I felt moments of empath and fuzz, but now it seems to be. I'm not sure if it's a holiday. I'm not sure if it was just the events I was at. So I'm letting it. I'm open. I'm open. And of course, I'll be talking with Patty. She offered to show me the ropes on some things. So of course, I'm going to take that and reach it back out to her here soon.
Well,
But yeah. So I don't know. All I can tell you is there was a loud buzz or popping sound, like pressure changing in my ear when I was in Salem. It hurt. I audibly said, "Ouch!" I laughed because I was embarrassed. And then the side that someone pointed out that my ear popped was a reveal of a cemetery. A cemetery. I'm pretty sure it was on a road, that Essex Road, or I'm pretty sure it was, or at least near there. But we got Essex a lot on one of the boxes, underneath the hanging tree. So it seemed to be pointing. And then yeah, just some weird stuff. Like I'm seeing shadows for the first time in 24 years. So there's that. It's just analyzing it, making sure I'm not cray cray, or not too cray cray. But I'm accepting it too. So we'll see what my superpower is. I'm hoping to shoot lightning from my hands or lasers from my eyes.
I like the fire.
We'll see what we can do there. Yeah. So good question, Maureen. I don't know quite yet of what's happening or how stable it may or may not be, but I'm open to it.
Dogs, by the way. Do you feel like maybe this is an awakening for you because everything's starting to kind of come apart and unravel, and you're starting to have all of these things happening?
I've always, everyone has the moment of focus in them. It's whether they take advantage of that opportunity. So years ago, I'll say superpowers. There's a moment where I didn't really believe in the metaphysical, and I didn't know that word until much later on in my journey. And but for whatever reason, I'm going to air quote this. I had a superpower. It was more empathic, but it was very like focused. It was wild, not focused, but it was loud. It was uncomfortable. I didn't get appropriate instructors. I didn't read about it. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know. I thought I was just the only literal different person that had a cool power when ghost hunting. And then I walked too close to the light. I tell people, and I was laughing, and I hit a cemetery in 2004. I hit a cemetery gate to enter with two of my skeptic friends. I just showing them this awesome cemetery that had a really great reaction in one time. Not metaphysical, but tools and so forth. And I touched the gate, and I tell you what, like 3, 4, 5 seconds worth, tears came down my face. I got super scared, fell right on my butt, and just as strong as I could, I took the other two people with me. I took them by the pant leg and threw them in front of me like I was blocking something. I didn't know. I was embarrassed. I jumped the fence, and I felt nothing. And I didn't feel really anything in about 10 years. I put this blocker on. I was okay with the blocker, and I used to joke about it. But when I kind of came out of, I'll say, the paracloset, because I did a lot of this stuff aggressively and on the side for myself and personal clients. But when I decided to go on social media more with it and push something on a different avenue, I started recognizing it more, and the fuzz started slowly coming back. I've just been suppressing it. So yeah, if we're talking an awakening moment, I have always, well, not always been open to it, but I mean, I feel I'm a great candidate to take it in and let's see what's going on.
So do you know, I'm sorry, Anthony, have you learned how to control those things, or have you kind of not really studied what to do with it?
Well, I've been busy the last 2 weeks since I got back from the from the convention. So I haven't sat down to really analyze and even speak with Patty. Good questions. And yes, I do need to hit that. I've got something big happening soon I need to focus on for the next 2 weeks. But in November, I need to touch bases and start at least taking it serious. And that's, I think, the big kicker here is, and I will label myself as a techie guy, sure, but really I am very much married to metaphysical as well. Always have been, just in different capacities. But so I'm a techie guy, and I think this is a great thing that this is happening to me, because now I can go to a skeptic and maybe a cynic and be like, I get you, I understand. However, let's talk about this. And I feel like I can have that conversation without, being an aggressive earshot to them.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because you got skeptic with the science, and then you got the paranormal or the spiritual. So it's like a conflict. You'll see something. I do the same thing, because
Right.
when I see something, I try to see where it's coming from, or try to solve the problem. Because I did science and stuff like that. I'm into the science too.
Of course, I would got that from you.
But the whole thing is like, people like, for example, I had this one guy. He called me in. He has whispering in his bedroom.
Right.
Whispering. He always hears, and he's going crazy. I hear it all the time. He called me in. So I'm going around. I'm walking around, and I go in his bedroom, and I hear the whispering. I hear, what the hell? I'm saying, okay, I have meters and everything, nothing. So I hear it coming from the corner. I go to the corner of the room. In the corner, there's a window. The window is not fully shut because it's uneven, or so when the wind came, it sounded like somebody whispering.
That's cool.
And I was like, because it sounded like somebody go.
I get it. Oh, absolutely. Even with the phantom odors, similar scenarios.
Yeah. So I told the guy, I said, come here. I said, you hear it in this corner? And he goes, yeah. I said, you hear it. And also we hear, so I pulled the curtain back. I put my finger right over that little crack spot and stopped. Then I took my finger away. I said, it's the wind. You said, all you got to do is need some kind of rubber thing there. And I'm a construction guy, so.
Feel it. Oh, absolutely. Oh, you're perfect then. Cool.
I'm a retired electrician.
Right. Oh, that's awesome.
So.
Such a good skill set.
Just get this little rubber thing, and then you haven't heard it since. So you don't go in saying everything's haunted. You don't leave things like everything's haunted. The situations and why there's something going on there too.
Right.
Not everywhere it's haunted.
Now, have you heard, Anthony? Have you heard of of course, I think good people that break things down. That kind of cross a lot of, especially as many years as you've been in here. You kind of seen some stuff. So have you heard of the Whispering Gallery? It's an auditory phenomenon, and I'll explain it.
That's in Grand Central Station.
Yep, you're on it. Cool.
Right.
There's an outside,
and it works because I've done it.
Oh yeah.
It's
there's an outside. There's an outside version of it too.
It's outside version. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it uses plates.
And it's like talking. It's like, and they're hearing me clear over there, but nobody hears me talking in between. It was like the wildest thing.
That's wild. That's so cool. That's so cool. There's so many weird, I say normal-ish things around there. And I think with the skeptic, and I still say that I'm a skeptic, but by all definitions, spirits, ghosts, that ghostly energy, it exists. It's what context. When I say I'm skeptical with mechanics. It's like, okay, this X, Y, and Z, is the wind whispers or is the wind type thing? That's where the skepticism comes. So I think healthy skepticism is good. It's when you start turning to a cynic, is not needed in the field. I mean, if you're just going to, piss on everything that's coming out, it's like you're sounding unintelligent at this point, and it's like, come on, dude, or lady. So I think some people, I know we spoke with, I love him to death, Sean Austin, who was on the show with us. He would always call us, skeptics. Yeah. People are like, oh, so how was it being with skeptics? And I think on one show, maybe on a couple, but I'm like, okay, let's slow things down. I believe. We do believe, but when we're skeptical on the mechanics, we're skeptical on, was this really a thing? We know this thing is a possibility, but was this thing that we witnessed a thing? So, yeah.
Try to solve the problem before,
Yeah. As you said, there's no ghost. Let's not go straight there.
What with that whisper thing, and not to change it back to Grand Central Station.
Yeah.
They actually put that in for spies. That was actually done on purpose, because a spy could go on one side and go on the other side, and they could talk back and forth, and they don't look
That's
like
cool.
Yeah.
So that wasn't an accident, and I've read and I researched and I've seen, diagrams of the phenomenon. Of course, read and watched and whatnot, but I've never witnessed it. I don't believe I've witnessed it. I've demonstrated it, the idea, but that's cool that you actually were there and you kind of witnessed that phenomenon.
Yeah, it's
that's
awesome. Really.
I don't think too many people actually witness it.
Yeah, my brother was on the other side, and Grand Central Station in Manhattan, always packed, and you don't see each other. He's on the other side, and I'm over here and I'm calling him, he's my brother. I'm calling him I'm cursing at him and calling him a-hole and everything else.
Right.
You're an a-hole. I can see his face look at me like that. He'll say something back, and it was fun. But,
well, I guess I did witness it one time on the outside one, because that's how I broke it down. I actually got a video. It's an old video, maybe 2017, maybe 2016, but it was an old video that I actually put up my false ghost videos too. Like it's ghost hunting's ghost hunting. You don't get gold every time, though. Pretty good at this point, but yeah, you get it. So this was a complete breakdown of why it's not what I originally thought it was, and it was these little girls laughing. I didn't hear it, and they were like a mile away, but the valley just allowed the voice to carry through the hills, bounce right off the one of the buildings that I was by, and hit my ear perfectly. It was pretty wild. But
we got up in Newburgh. It was an old barn that was up there, and we were getting crying baby, and we lost somebody. We got a crying baby, and then I did a little research, and there's red foxes up there, and when the females in heat, they sound like crying babies.
That makes sense.
So it's not everything's haunted.
What really disturbed me, I heard this story a while ago. Another investigator kind of boasted the story, which it sounds kind of a horrific story, right? It was, and I just remember the action. I don't remember the location, but it was I would say old jail or something along the line, big place, and it was all boarded. I mean, or it was fenced. You couldn't get into it. There's a security guard, guarding it, traveling top of the middle of nowhere. That's kind of the picture to paint here. And investigator was saying how haunted it was to me. I'm like, oh wow, crazy. Like, what makes it haunted? I'm just listening, and they're like, we heard, you get these stories of this baby, that was dropped off there and died and blah blah blah. And she said she actually went there and was stopped by the security guard. And then as he was saying, hey, you can take some pictures, but you can't enter. Okay. They both started hearing this baby cry. They said it was a baby, but I take it from the word. It was a baby crying. So I immediately looked at her and I said, please tell me you checked. Please tell me you checked. They did not. They both evacuated. They both fled the scene. And I don't know, that one stuck with me for a hot second because, I mean, let's say it was a baby. Let's say someone just
I know. They did double.
Let's go normal before super normal, right? Supernatural. So that one, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it was a phantom or maybe an animal or whatever the case may be. But it could have been a phantom message. You should check. Especially
when you go outside, like screeching owls, they sound like a woman screaming at nighttime. And
how about goats? Those videos are hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get too many goat complaints We're not goat hunters, but
No.
we should be sometimes.
Yeah. So, Maureen. Oh, you muted. Oh,
Sorry,
I'm
my
sorry.
dogs are so loud that they're barking, and I couldn't hear anything. And I didn't want you guys to be like overpowered because of the dogs.
No,
Oh, they were fine.
We're
They're
talking over you. I mean, you want to get part of this conversation? I'm like, all I do is talk.
Well, I had to put it on mute because they're barking so much that you wouldn't hear anything but barking. So
It's
now
a sign.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
So
Maureen, I'm sorry, you got an echo.
I always have an echo.
I get echo.
It's a good echo.
Is this better? Is this better?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so you made this quote. What if I tell you ghosts or spirits do not exist in the context of which we feel they do? And I'm so drawn into that question. You need to explain that.
Yeah, you know, I've regurgitated. Thank you for bringing that up, by the way. This is part of my research and my journey. And mind you, when I crossed this data path, it contradicted 20 years of my own research. So if people say, you know, and I had people not like this and probably even mad at me, but it makes sense. It's the most plausible answer. And again, I don't like it. I don't love it, but it follows the data, and I got to respect at least the journey. It may change, you know, tomorrow, but it seems very plausible. And all I've been ever trying to do is figure out the mechanic. So I'll break it down. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, it's fascinating. So with my research, and basically I stated that, yeah, spirits and ghosts, they don't exist in the context that we feel that they do. They tend to be a biological reaction of the consciousness separating from the vessel upon expiration, leaving like a echo, or if you think about it, like a smart photo. So Graham is perfectly fine, but Metallica got it right. Memory remains. But yeah, like a smart photo with AI capability. So if you want to look at the greatest, even before the whole AI run, you know, started coming out on social media, I was talking about the greatest AI being a literal spirit, because we're feeding data into this emotional state, and we're creating our own monsters, whatever we want to call them. They are legit. So I don't want to like step away and say, oh, so you said ghosts and spirits don't exist. Nah, not in the context that we feel they do. There's still that energy's out there, and the energy can still be damaging. So we got to play the game board correctly, if that makes sense. I'm not saying the Ouija board or any game board, just like the area, the haunt. There's specific emotional beats in there. We got to respect that, you know? And that's a science guy saying it. I don't have any system. You know, I have no buy-in, but I'm saying that prayer works. I'm saying that well wishes work, meditation, good vibes, just tomato. It seems like there's a subatomic particle connectivity that goes cosmical, and there's no, you know, time, or there's no distance. It's instant connection, and it's all about intent. Intention is key. I say intent and consciousness are the biggest two terms to kind of think about this idea of ghost hunting. And I go biological on this, so it's like I do have some objective data, and one of the easiest objective data points are when we pass away. You know, we don't take our limbs with us. We don't take our shirt. We don't take our organic heart, our brain, or, you know, we don't take any of that. So why would we want to take our lobes, you know, our limbic system, which 100% controls hate and love? That's not an opinion. That's been practiced and witnessed. You know, doctor can play like a marionette puppet with your brain, and all the actions happen. But what's the consciousness side that creates the actions? So in a sense, a meaning of life element very well could be to feel our emotions, or the Beatles got it right. It's love. You know, I mean, if that's like a big meaning of life point, I'm okay with that. But yeah, our values are incredibly important. You know, our community, our people, our upbringing. Like, there's just too much hate in the world, and too much people pushing other values on people, and that's not necessary, especially for life, I feel. And again, why on earth would we keep our emotions? It sounds nice. I want to go back. I want to go back and check on my daughter, right? I love my daughter, but that gift that I have with her was feeling that greatest love that I never even understood existed until I had her 5 years ago. I assumed I would love her. I didn't know that I had no clue the love that I would feel. And that, I feel, is a reason, a good reason why a biological Homo sapien, multi-celled individual here on Earth would enjoy that moment. You know, a frog, a blade of grass, a tree, different biology, different needs, different necessities. So yeah, once I'm done, I'm not going to live in pain. I'm not going to live in this anxiety. It's going to be peaceful. And I've interviewed people who've officially died and came back, and whatever religious state they have, whatever white light or seeing Jesus or whatever the case may be. Some examples, they were all at peace, void of emotion, which makes sense in the context. Yeah. So yeah, it's fascinating. And again, I would love to visit, have a ghostly life, chill, haunt people. I just don't think that's plausible. I really don't think that. Why would we be here for that moment? I think it's more of a regurgitation. I should say, not regurgitation. Sorry, that's the word I typically use. Reincarnation. There we go. That's more maybe proper for the audience.
Regurgitation.
But, yeah, right. That's my brain. We just get spit back into the loop. So what are we going to do next? But our greatest love letter, in that idea, since we shed our emotional state in a sense, and it would be seeing a ghost, saying a loved one would come to you and you witness your loved one. Well, that's the biggest love letter possible. And that's huge. That's big. That's something that gives us value. Now, again, some people say, well, why hasn't my mom, grandma, or whatever visited? It's just not the normal mechanic. You're asking for a unicorn. And what we do is we see a lot of unicorns, but it's weird. But I think we try to make life more difficult than what it is. And I'm just trying to apply a system or a standard, I would even say, in time, potentially, that would address kind of the foundational aspect of what we call a ghost and spirit. And from there, people can utilize their own value system in communities to make their world better with respecting everyone else's, not doing all this damn war things and all this other stuff. I mean, if we can get to a point hundreds of years from now with a foundation that I'm starting today or yesterday, I'm cool with that. I know it's going to take time.
Yeah. With Staticom that Ron and Lotus does.
Right.
I mean, there's so much stuff that comes out on that.
Right.
That, it's like, where's it coming from? If it's no spirits or, if everything is peaceful or, what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's spirits. It's spirits and ghosts. It's that emotional state. It's what was left over. Yeah. I feel it makes more sense just to look at it as an emotional embodiment of what was, that was an old church. So now let's put some church data in there with our own consciousness. We radiate energy. People don't recognize so much, but when we radiate, I know Maureen probably radiates more than most. It's just the name of the game, boo. But we all have that power of connection into the great void. Yeah. So we still gather data. We still get some great feedback. And will I ever challenge, let's say, a lost soul scenario? Because at this point, there's no such thing as lost souls in my dialogue or my buildup. No, I would never stand a ground saying I'm not going to help you because X, Y, and Z. I'm still going to cross, my T's, dot my I's. It's not important for me to not, help out the best I can. But the big scheme of things, I feel that everyone's okay, when we pass. It's the humans that choose their hate and love, and that's subjective.
Emotion. Yeah. Ron posted that they believe it's connecting with consciousness. That's what you
absolutely. I think consciousness is key. Yeah. I really, truly do. Yeah, and I mean, there's some other things that I crossed that I have to hit the lab with probably. But there seems to be a distance scenario with some of my devices that kind of change. And that doesn't change. Just there's a device I really like, and that seems to be almost, I would say, a 10-foot radius from the device. It seems to catch. While I could use like a broken radio, and it seems to get more consciousness. It seems like I can call in things and get a response. So it's just different frequencies, and it's fascinating.
Okay.
Yeah, fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, it's, it's spirits and stuff out there, and I've been to many places, so a lot of things I can't explain, and some of it's negative, some of it's not. I feel the negative ones are just trying to get you away. But then again, spirits, they were human one time, so they could be, if they were a prick in real life, in life, they could be that way in death
Absolutely.
too.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
that's where things come in, and or sometimes the spirits they act negative, but they're not, and they just want to make you.
They're just ornery. They're stuck
They
here.
want you gone.
They want to touch you, and they accidentally knock the lamp over, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that show Ghost that's on TV. I love that show.
Oh, I was thinking the movie. No, I know the show. Yeah, no. I know the show. The show is kind of fun.
Guys ghost,
It's
and
fun.
he knocks things over, and there's another one that sings, and they can hear her. And I enjoy the show because you just makes you think maybe they all like that. It's like maybe they all in one big group, and it's okay.
Right.
It's your turn to scare that person.
But it's funny. So even putting narratives in like locations, as long as I've been doing it, as you stated, you put that positive light in there. And there's been some darker situations, of course, I think we run into, but I've never cried out demon. That's never been a narrative. But if I walk into a location with a demonologist, guess what? There's a demon in every corner. So it's just kind of funny. I'm completely safe in this location until X, Y, and Z enter, and it's like, oh, now I'm spitting out pea soup and I'm upside down on the wall. Now,
and that comes, I give this up. If I have to start picking pea soup, my head spins around, and I start floating around. I think it's time to retire my K2 meter.
I always tell keep the camera rolling. If I start doing it, you got to at least capture it.
I'd be holding the camera as I'm floating.
Oh, you'll be go selfie mode.
I'm a camera person. I'm more like to get it on camera.
Well, no, I'm saying with the camera, just take the big thing.
The camera has the audio also, so you get the EVPs and the footage. And that's why I like that, because every piece of equipment everybody has a different piece they like, but I like because how many times I caught people, I think I hear whispering on the audio, and all of a sudden I look on the screen and there's somebody whispering. You know what I mean? I caught somebody, I thought it was a woman screaming, and it was actually a person walking with sneakers that's rubbing against the floor, and it sounded like a woman scream. So that's why I like that.
I started using the Zoom mic, as just to capture my audio for like a TV presentation in some aspects. I wanted to get a separate audio from cameras I was using, because I was using some old cameras that didn't have the best plugins. It just worked for me. But I found out doing that with the Tiny Rode boom mic, it actually caught some phenomenal EVP. And so now I don't even really do traditional EVP sessions. If I go hard into a site, I'm just mic'd up normally. So I got my normal conversational audio for the voice. But in case when I'm in data analyzing mode, I could very well catch something that could be in context to the investigation. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Clear too.
I do EVPs with my camera.
Oh, I've caught some.
I got the shotgun. I got more stuff on my camera with EVPs than my recordings.
I believe you. Absolutely. I've done some live EVP sessions, which are super fun. I love doing this, but I'll be honest with you, it's boring. A lot of what we do is just sit in the dark and wait. And that was an old tactic I used years ago. It was exciting when it was exciting, but you're waiting hours. Just EVP, just live and hear everything. So hear people's stomach growl.
You're on the water, you're waiting for a bite. That's
like
the same thing. It's fishing. It's paranormal fishing.
We use that narrative a lot.
You can ask Maureen. One of my favorite things now is the body cams. I just got 4 more body cams. I wear body cams. I wear one in front and one in my back.
Nice. You know, I've been talking a lot lately. That's the next gear piece. I wanted just a good solid front body cam. I didn't think about the back one, which I could look into. My thing is I want to, yeah, I mean the back and front would be actually really good.
I mean, tell you walking down a
yeah.
walk away and you're hearing things behind you and you're turning. If you got something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's smart. Yeah, you got me thinking. That's a good way. I was trying to minimize the video data that I would be going through because we got so many tools. I've seen teams run in with a lot of cameras, but I've seen a lot of digital recorders. And I'm like, what are you doing with the digital recorders? Are you really going through 8 hours each of 12 recorders? Like that's bonkers. I get it. But at that point, it's not worth it. You're trying to get every scratch and every distance burp and turn it into something.
But that's how I do it. I look first. I listen with my cameras. I listen to all the audio.
Right.
And all your burps.
I mark it down, and then I go or then I do my video, and I compare where it was. So I could, and you know.
I get it. Well, absolutely. It's rare.
Like 10 cameras. Tell me about it. Going 10 cameras, you're there 15 hours. And now you got how many hours? It was like between the cameras and then all the other data recorders.
Right.
And my team's like, everybody wants to be an investigator, but nobody wants to do the reviews.
Of course. Why, right? Why? I mean, I right, yeah. It's funny because ADD. I lost my train of thought here. It's recording. It's audio. Oh yeah. So I find it interesting when you catch like the same like audio wavelength on multiple mics or the camera mic. At that point, most likely that might be physical. That might be real. I find it more interesting if I can catch an anomaly on one of those all around the area. I mean, I look at it differently. I don't want to disregard the other, but I find it, if it's clear enough, if it's a class B or A, are we still saying classes? Is that still a thing? Class A, B, and C.
When I started, like I said, there was no labels. Like I got EVP, you don't get EVP. That was like, and back then it wasn't even called EVP. It was called audio.
I know.
That's audio. Called audio.
I think I've been joking about this, but I think we need to do it. We need to do like level. We got a level 3 poltergeist. Just we got to start like figuring that out and just make it super difficult. It's way too difficult.
Age 15. Oh my goodness.
We
got a level 15.
We have a sophomore. We have a junior. We have a senior.
It's like a 15-point BI. We got to really let's get writers on these things. Break down like a how-to book. Be like, what's this mean? Oh, they're giving me the middle finger. Okay, I get it, guys. Cute.
Yeah.
Listen,
I try to keep things.
We don't have a book on how to raise our children. We don't get a book for that.
Well, there's probably more books about paranormal than I'm raising your children.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Children and paranormal.
Yeah.
Same thing, really.
Paranormal children.
Maureen, we're getting an echo, but I don't know. I looked at everything on my side, so
You're echoing too.
yeah. So
You guys both sound fantastic with me.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
You can
You're
come
welcome.
here anytime.
Come over with the echo.
Yeah.
But yeah. So like what locations? You do a lot of private, or you just do historic? Whatever.
Well, the thing is, so I will do a private. I haven't done a private in a long time. I know I've trickled a couple in there in the last 10 years, but really I'll say 10 years. I haven't, 12, 13 years maybe. I haven't done a private. I did private about in the 2000s. That's a lot of what I did. The thing with those are the overhead. I mean, I was in a state of trying to understand this thing myself. So I wanted to develop, I wanted to pull data back and analyze it. With a lot of this data, I'd feel bad, or I wouldn't want to put on blast because it's people's personal houses. So there's that overhead. I really want to respect in a customer service aspect, and I get it. And a lot of experiments I tend to do, people probably don't want me doing in their private houses. So I'm incredibly thankful, Elisa, at the Dan Viner Furniture Store, aka Haunted YMCA. I mean, it's pretty much a laboratory for me here. It's beautiful.
Awesome.
But industrial. I do a lot of industrial, and that's what I've done. Yeah, that's typically what I do. Big businesses or private, like places that aren't lived in. Unless the case is huge, I will take it. And I say huge, I mean like a real negative or a real dangerous or real surprising, something big. But if they reach out to me and it's like your typical so-and-so, I try to give them references on some local ghost groups that I trust. And sometimes I don't trust the local teams, and I'm like, well, there's a team a few hours that way. So I try to give them the best. I don't default.
Don't work with them already, because there's a lot of teams out there that want to go in and say, oh, we're going to help, and they do more damage.
Yeah.
And I don't follow these teams, so it's hard for me to put my stamp on them. Honestly, I used to suggest that they do their own research. I think recently, I sadly told a lady. I just, I would suggest do a research in the area. I said, but I don't have any, resources to give them, because again, it's such a sensitive scenario. I don't want to send just anyone in them, because now my stamp's on it. And people gotta, maybe they don't have to know, but something that I did when I had a team, it was actually a nonprofit organization back in 2009 when I associated Nick Simons with me. He was one of the first, he was the first crew that was with me when I wanted to get a standardized team. And he jokes about this. I kind of find it funny, so I'll parrot it back out. But I got his social security number. I had them all send that. I did background checks on all of them. And the clients had the option to do a background check on all of us if they felt they needed to. That was a feature that I did, more on the humanity side of things.
Yes.
I'm not saying I'm the best, this is and that, but I am saying I'm going into your home. It's a very sensitive conversation, and what I come out with, we'll discuss and talk about. But I need to have trust on both sides. And so he jokes that I have his social security number somewhere. I don't. But I definitely made. I made sure my team, were leaders, and they were smart, and the idea of what
that's good.
Competent.
That's a good idea.
And good people. I think that was a big thing. Like genuinely nice, and they understand.
You trust. The people you trust, and people that have your back just in case anything happens or whatever.
Right.
I don't do private reservation. I don't do private locations no more. Homes and stuff. It gets too much emotional and stuff like that.
I get it.
And now, like I said, I'm retired, so it's like I go in locations where big locations and stuff like that with people that like-minded. Because I have my team since 2000. Since 1996. That's what
I was about to say. You sound like a '90s guy since you've been rolling.
Yeah,
it's huge.
Well, I started in the '70s.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, someday I want to talk to you about that, just the mindset. And I don't know, that'd just be an interesting time, because it wasn't the easiest movement forward. I couldn't find a mentor. I didn't know how to do that. I was young.
Me neither.
Nowadays, I would know how to do it. It's kind of funny hindsight, but
Yeah, but nowadays it's like, and plus when you do the Paracons, you meet more people and you get to know people, so you get to talk to people. If I want to do any witchy stuff, I got the lady next door over here. Which way? That way.
Right. No, absolutely.
So I got people like now, but back then I didn't have. It's like the Brady Bunch.
It's like laughing.
Yeah.
That shows my age.
Oh my gosh, we're all young. The funny thing is, I don't know that, and I am spoiler alert. I am young for the years of experience that I have in the field, and people in the 2000s. I feel that they let me know, especially older crowds that were getting into it maybe for the first time. And I always had a chip on my shoulder with that. And the funny thing is, I think in my head, I created a narrative far more unrealistic with that It just and that's youth. The experience I was getting was legit, but you know, we have our own moments where it's like, oh, they're just older, so they're not going to respect me. Well, is there other elements of that? Do I come off condescending? Do I, you know, this and that? But I felt that a lot. And looking back, I'm going to say there's probably a lot less. Not saying it didn't happen due to my age, but about my mid 30s or so. I mean, when I hit my 30s, it just wasn't even a thing. I didn't even think about it. And people, you know, followed suit or suggested, or we networked or collaborated or whatever the case, or mentored. You know, I mentor a lot of older people, then, you know, to my elder, which is humbling, and it just kind of shows the respect of the work. And kind of go back to age. You know, I don't feel like I'm getting any older until I look in the mirror. I notice some things, but I'm looking first person this whole time, and I feel like I am, you know, as a kid, just still doing this.
Yeah, I know. In the morning, I get up, I look in the mirror, and I say, "Who the hell's that old guy looking at me? Who is he? Why is he in my mirror? Who is that guy?
Like, help! It's a ghost.
Who is he? He's bald. He's old. He's fat. Gray. Who is that guy? It's not me.
Not you.
No, it's not me.
What we do keeps us really young. I think that this
I agree.
It's fun and it's exciting, and it's like when you said that you still get that like amazing, oh my God.
Always.
I tell everybody this story. I think it's hilarious. Stephanie Burke and Porter were at a homestead, and we went with them to do an investigation. And Steph was not feeling the best, and she's like all curled up in this blanket, and she's just like sitting on this couch. And
right.
I went over to sit next to them, and Porter's like, my phone's not acting the best right now. We're using, I don't even know what it was at the time, but some kind of necrophonics or whatever. And he's
okay. I like the necrophonic.
in a jar so you can hear it better and to amplify it. And I think a lot of people don't realize you can do that. So we're asking questions, and everybody's kind of standing around in a circle, and we split off into a couple of groups. So he puts this phone in and he asks a question. He said, "What's your favorite song?" And you hear doodle doo. And we like looked at each other out of the corner of our eyes because they sat next to him at this time. And
so
everyone was kind of just like looking around in the dark, and they're wondering what's going to happen next. Meanwhile, we're paying really close attention to this. And he said, "I don't think that's the name of the song. Can you please repeat that?" And all of a sudden you hear Yankee Doodle. And we were both like, oh! The two of us were like little kids. We're just asking more and more questions, and we're like high-fiving each other. I just love to be around him because
you know the energy, and you bounce off each other. And I love the song. So last few years, I'm not sure how long at this point. Sometimes it all blends together. I don't know when I started. It could have been yesterday. Theoretically yesterday. I started asking questions like, hey, I forgot this popular song. I think it's called "Mary Had a Little Lamb. Can you please sing it for me?" And I tell you what, it's hit a couple times. And this is in crowd environments. The reaction is pretty cool. I've done Twinkle Twinkle Little. So I just try to do, you know, anything to change the typical. I look for direct, multiple syllable responses in a lot of things, depending on the build up, the algorithm of the device. So those were powerful for me. Like when I ask how many humans are in the room, you know, how many fleshy people are in the room, I say, can you please start with 1 and go 1, 2, 3 and end at the number of how many people there are. That's fascinating. And that's hit a lot.
One word is not enough.
Yeah. So that's multi-syllable. That's kind of when I came up with, give me 1, 2. Because if I hear like a 1, 2, then it's like, okay, we're in cadence. We're getting rhythmatic. We're changing from like word jargon to number jargon. I'll take it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's good with music and stuff because I got these little music boxes that you crank.
Oh, nice.
And I was at Burlington Prison in Mount Holly, and I started playing that, and I said, "Does anybody know what song that is?" And they said, "Ferry Shaka." I got a EVP.
Nice.
And I'm like, And it was very shocking. I was like, that was so cool.
You know, hide and seek's probably my favorite game. I have played Truth or Dare, and Truth or Dare is hit. Pretty awesome. But hide and seek and Truth and Dare, they're kind of right there. But I like hide and seek with the box. Basically, have a member hide in whatever crazy building we're in, and don't try multiple floors. Try to keep it with one floor because it gets crazy. Found out otherwise. And then just have the box, give the rules to the game board of saying, hey, you know, we're looking for so-and-so, say forward, right, left, you know, give us direction. Sometimes they say exact location and we just have to catch it. But yeah, it's fun. And it's
so what have they dared you to do?
What was that?
Have they dared you to do things, or is it?
Yes, they dared me to. I was at Melbourne Manor. They dared me to go outside and eat shit.
Really?
Oh, really?
They did. I laughed. I gave them the F-bomb back, and not only did everyone in there laugh, humans, the box was laughing too. So it was the F-bomb towards him, but the intent, as I told you, intent is so powerful. They knew there's no harm with that, and they knew they said what they said. It was clear. It was funny, and been asked to jump. And you don't think that might not be too bad, but I was in an attic, so jumping is not the greatest thing to do there.
At least it wasn't like jump off the balcony or jump out the window.
Well, you know, hey, we'll capture if it gets it, but yeah, I'll have to draw the line on some things, you know. But we've dared. Well, we also dare them too, and we do Truth or Dare with them. So it's like, now it's your turn because that's the name of the game. So it's like, okay, guys, Truth or Dare. And we try to listen for the right moment. Like, okay, that was a clear truth. What year was this building made? Or what year was this building created or built? And it hits. I tell you, when they're responsive like that, it hits. Dare, an easy dare is, I dare you to knock on the wall. Or I dare you to hit that EMF meter. It's fascinating. It really gets the gears moving faster. Just having fun than previous. I went to action years ago. And I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or lazier. Or I just want things to happen faster. I'm like, I don't want to do a 30-minute sweep of silence. Let's just kick the door down and see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm very impatient myself.
What was that?
Stomp your feet right now. Or I'm like,
yes. We like doing that. You know, Nick and I were really though we're not officially a team, we, you know, you'll find us together often. And I think we have plenty more working opportunities in the future. We'll see.
That'd be great. I mean, if you come up this area, I know he's up in Buffalo now, isn't he? Somewhere up there?
Well, I'm sorry, not Groff. Nick Simons from 28 Days Haunted with me, the big guy.
Oh, okay.
No, and it's funny. So it's funny you mentioned that. I like that you went there, Anthony, because you know how much of an issue, because Nick Groff was both of our talent agent. He actually we kind of both got a separate contract. And so whenever I would say I'm going to this event with Nick, I didn't think to specify. Everyone thought everyone was so, I had to do something mentally to Simons after a while. Like, it's not Groff. It's not Groff, guys. It's Simons. So
everybody's like, "Oh, you're going Groff."
Yeah. And of course, I had a photographer on the team because I suck at really being engaged with like photos. That's not my thing. I don't know. I try to do selfies. Selfies somehow are super popular on my social spaces. It takes a lot for me to do a selfie, like a lot of energy. I do it, but it's like, I don't like it. So I got a photographer that stayed with us for a little bit. Excellent, guy. His name was Zach. So now we had Aaron, Zach, and Nick. Oh my God. And this is innocent me. I didn't think anything of it. I don't watch the TV shows. Of course I knew of them, but
controversial, very controversial.
Oh, people thought we were like a parody group. Like, oh my gosh.
You come in all dressed like Zach.
No, we never did. We should have. We should have just played it. Like, whatever. Whatever. We'll be a parody group.
Locking in
Are there
your-
parody groups? That'd be hilarious.
That'd be funny, you know. You dress like them and you go in there. Oh, this
Oh,
place is so haunted. Ooh,
something scratched me.
something scratched me.
Oh, that's for
Get
Halloween.
out
I
of
should have
here.
like a black tap
I
out
wanna
shirt
beat you
and
up.
have like scratches on the back, like through the shirt.
That nobody would see you. You'd be locked in a kitchen, in a bathroom, in a closet someplace. So
wanna beat you up.
ironically, Tracy Vespucci just signed on. Hi, Tracy.
Tracy.
Manager of the
Matter of
Shanley.
fact, yeah, she's Shanley. She's the manager of the Shanley Hotel.
Oh, I've heard all great things about your place.
Tracy, we're going to try to get him to the Shanley.
We love it
So
there.
we'll let you know.
Not the Stanley, but the Shanley.
The Shanley.
I will learn and
I'm
I will
telling you.
preach.
You
Oh.
will love it. I mean, it is
I've heard of great things. I'm excited to have the opportunity.
the most active places I've ever been there.
That's
She
huge.
You want to see the third floor? And I was like, yeah.
Mhm.
As soon as she opened the door, I was like, what? Just fell out of there. Like there was nothing. And she goes, oh, you felt that? And I was like, more.
Wow.
Just give me more.
Right.
I like the Bordello area.
That's cool. I used to live in Delaware.
Did you?
Wilmington, Delaware, back in the
Oh,
mid
wow.
2000s. Yeah.
Look at you.
I know, a man of many states. I lived in Tucson, Arizona, and Florida. I have ghosts to hunt, guys. I just can't hang in the.
You got to go.
I gotta go.
I'm still
I
looking.
got all the
behind
ghosts in the
you.
Midwest. I gotta go somewhere else. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Treasure chest.
Come to New York. Hey, we'll hang
Yeah.
hook you up,
Forget
you know?
about it, right?
We'll give you the accent and everything. Come on, you get to New York. Hey,
I'm hunting here. Come on.
hey, I'm walking. I'm walking here. Hey,
Do I look like a ghost? Come on.
hey, forget about it. Hey.
Forget about it. Give me a pie.
If you can go to if you could go to any location, any that you haven't been to yet, and you can't say it's a repeat, any location, where would you go?
Vlad's Castle.
Oh, that's mine too.
Is it? Yeah. Vlad the Impaler, brutal, man. And you know what? He was so brutal. Like if you look at like a lot of his torture techniques, the funny thing is all the stupid torture techniques back in the day were way creative. Like someone will be like, oh, well, this torture technique. I'm like, well, yeah, that's pretty bad too. I don't know if there's like a tomato.
Squeeze the shit out of your neck.
Impaler. That's why it is.
Oh yeah, 17 hours it took people to die. He had to have, I think it was 7 people screaming in the hallway to give abundant sound. It was hysteria. And it would last about 17 hours, and he'll get a new one. Starts with the anus hole, and slowly body weight. Does not sound fun.
He was
And he started off to do that is to scare off because his kingdom wasn't strong enough to fight all these others. So
That's
he
right. I forgot it. Okay.
thousands of people. So when other people came in, or other troop, they came in and like, oh, this guy's nuts. We're not going in there.
That'd be terrifying. Could you imagine? Like,
Yeah. He's like,
man,
thousands of people.
I heard
that's
that.
like crazy.
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
would love to go there. What was that?
I don't know. It flew by.
that was my fault.
I got chopped. Someone said they chopped something.
Chopped with a bird.
It's a child.
Oh, Virgil. He always gets
Oh.
chopped by birds or something like that.
Well, we don't have to worry about that anymore. That was what I was doing. I was taking care of that.
I
But
appreciate it.
yeah, and Vladdy Impaler, that'd be awesome to go there.
It would be. And you know,
trip.
and it's fun. Yeah, right. And it's funny because some people are like, well, it's a different culture, a different language, right? And I definitely understand that. We've caught, and I'm sure you've caught German or different languages through moments
Spanish,
of appropriateness. But if you think about consciousness, most likely we're going to catch English-speaking responses, even in an area that didn't speak English, because it's in this giant, all-knowing computer or all-knowing network that it will appropriately connect to what we need to hear. If we want native tongue, we could probably get it, but I've found in places that should not have English, speaking, or at least not much. I got it, and it made sense in the context. And I wasn't doing anything, to manipulate. I know me, so just getting what I was getting and analyzing it appropriately. And it makes sense with the whole conscious network too. Nothing's a secret in a sense.
So can
like
you
with the Staticom, that's I know they always talk about that.
That's cool to hear. I can't wait to speak with him more.
All that. Debachi's Italian. He speaks Italian, but they get responses in English.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Not too many people admit that.
Yeah, and they get
that's cool.
Different.
Makes sense.
Stuff,
I mean, it's the name of the game.
Yeah, I'm sorry for cutting you off, Maureen.
That's okay. So,
you're used to that.
So, spirit guides, you can ask them to change their language, or you can ask them to change their accent, or speak louder, or softer. So, I know that there was an episode, I don't know what it was on, but the spirit was speaking Polish, so they brought an interpreter in. But I believe that you can ask spirits to speak another language.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. That's in my practice, and I've gotten data that pulls back to that. So it just makes sense in the big scheme of things.
It's whether they want to or not.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that there's two layers, and I'm still trying to organize this in my head. I keep going back and forth, but it seems to be like I would say residual layer. And when we think of residual, we probably think like haunting locations where there's no interaction. When I mean residual, I just mean that original impact. So that might be more of the native language type scenario. While if you hover up a little above, this image that I'm trying to create is when you kind of dip into the consciousness state of things, which seems to be, pretty spectacular. But yeah, I feel you can get both of them depending on the intent. Again, what's this?
We're on again. Yeah, get ready.
I'm reading in my small print on my phone here.
Filtered hypothesis, whereas the brain is a transceiver, but the consciousness isn't engendered within the physical body. Can't wait to work with Aaron more.
Awesome. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
He said, not us, meant provoking thought is paramount to influence of the paradigm.
Yeah, we have a lot of strength. And once, like seeing signs, and I know you guys are very well of witnessing signs. Whenever I went away from a gut reaction, and I say, because it makes sense, gut reaction, I feel is more common. If I stay away from that or try to correct that or go through the original scenario that I wanted to go through, not the best stuff happens. It just, there's better ways to get around it. If I'm able to listen, which I do listen to I listen to every chance I get. And though it may not be the route that I want short term, but everything happens and it's peaceful and it's the right answer. Even if it seems silly and woo-woo, why did you do that? Well, I had a gut feeling. That makes no sense. Well, I am holding a lottery ticket that's worth a lot more than what you've been after. So
the spirit guides made me do it.
I've gotten a jackpot at the casino using the spirit box. I tried to repeat that. I think it taught me a lesson. Can't do it twice. So, but it got me, $1,300 or something dollars.
Okay.
It was embarrassing. Because it was like the light was going off. I'm like, oh, damn it.
First of all, I think that we're not supposed to use the type of information like that we get because it's not meant for that kind of use. But one day I just started writing down numbers that I was getting, and my friend, who also has the same type of abilities, he wrote numbers down and he showed up at my house and he was doing insurance work. And all of a sudden I said, I got these numbers. And he went, are they these numbers? And I said, they're the same numbers, but I have an extra and you have an extra. And he said, well, I have to get to an appointment, but who's going to buy the tickets? And I said, I need to be someplace.
Okay.
We're kind of both rushing at the same time.
Right.
And then we were kind of like, I can't get there right now. Can you get there? I can't get there. Can you get there? We both missed it. And those were the numbers that came up.
Oh, You got to go with the gut. I get it. And the funny thing is, to what you said when you said, these magic powers used for evil purposes, in a sense, the consciousness doesn't have emotion. So there's no subjective scenario. It's either participating or it's not participating. It doesn't care if you win $1 million or zero. If you're out homeless, if you got stabbed, it doesn't care. It just cares that you're going to be absorbed back into the ether and spit out to continue it gathering a larger data scheme. And what that is, I'm still pushing. But I think there's a bigger picture of the computer.
I don't think we're supposed to use our abilities for like lottery type things. I know for a fact.
Right.
I was supposed to not make a left turn one day. I was supposed to make a right turn, and I didn't listen. And I wound up in a very, very bad car accident. So that
it's trusting your gut, not necessarily. And we know we pull back to like lottery thing, but that doesn't tell me anything about lottery. It just says you didn't trust the gut, which we need to. The lottery thing, it was words. In my case, spitting out scenarios. The intent was there, and something happened. Why it didn't happen again? Because it didn't need to. It already proved the moment or whatever it needed to do.
And Lourdes is very right, what she says. Always listen to your gut. When my girls were younger, I would tell them, if your gut is telling you to leave a situation, you leave the situation. You're feeling that way for a reason, listen to it. True story.
I did not listen to my gut, and I did something actually fairly recently, and I knew I should have listened to my gut. But yeah, the objective of what happened, my whole night was just kind of crushed. And it was all because I should have went right, then I went left type thing, right? And it's like, I knew better. I knew it at the moment, but my brain, I just allowed it to take precedence. Biology doesn't care. Biology, emotion, right? But the big scheme, it doesn't care as much as the consciousness.
The best tool in our paranormal box, all the tools and all the equipment we have is our own instinct.
Yeah.
Our instinct. Because if you go to a location and you go to a door and you have that feeling, maybe I should not open this.
Yeah.
So that instinct inside of you, it's just a built-in thing that you don't need any equipment to tell you not to do it. It's just, this is always fighting with you.
Yeah. The brain is,
You go with your instinct. You go with your first thing. Don't question it. Just go with your instinct and back off.
It's okay to have.
How many times we don't listen and we, like you said, you guys end up in certain situations.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've only been listening to my gut since 12, and it hasn't been consistently. Right now, I'm a lot more consistent with the last multiple years. But I'm sure Maureen, and Anthony, you've probably been recognizing that phenomenon for a long time, and it's a superpower when you can actually be like, wow, the signs, trusting your gut. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
it's a no-brainer,
well,
and I can't explain it. I mean,
my gut's big enough to listen to.
It's a demon. No,
if I don't listen to my gut, it gets back, it fights back. So big these days.
Oh gosh, yeah. It was a moment in 2012. Kind of go back there. The coincidence scenario really is my conduit of trusting your gut. And there was a series of events that mathematically, I'm going to say impossible. I get it, sure, but mathematically, it was unheard of for these events to align the way that they aligned in the emotional impact that it created, that I immediately threw out the word that day, 2012, that moment. I was already on the narrative of no coincidence, but I wasn't quite there. I'm like, no, there's something supernatural with coincidence type scenarios. And that led into trusting your gut, which, came in shortly after, but recognized a little more. And signs. I think signs was the most recent one, last 4-ish years, that I'd really lean towards. Signs are fantastic, like physical signs.
Yes.
The gut is legit.
Mhm.
And the coincidence, thing. It's, I mean, yeah, it's a superpower. It's cool.
Yeah, you got to go with what you believe because
You do.
I mean, things can turn on you very quickly, especially if you're in a location that's very dark. You got that
Right.
2-inch screen in front of you. That's all it is everything's black, and all you got that little night vision thing. You know what I mean? And things can turn on you very quickly without even realizing it. You
Right.
know,
Oh,
something.
yeah.
I mean, I had things thrown at me, and it's like, it's like, where did that come from? There's nobody there, and you don't know what could happen.
There's a more aggressive situation in a haunt years ago, and I actually had to remove the our psychic practitioner, our metaphysical practitioner, from the area because she started questioning my tactics when I was when I was engaging, and it wasn't good for me to question on site if I'm if I'm exact or not. The kicker is my and I'll use the word intent, though I didn't probably use it then. My intent was my own protection spell, like my own, like nothing's going to, I'm on this, let's go finish it. But now I got someone who is very sensitive, who's feeling the energy a lot differently than I, and interpret the way that she feels needs to be interpreted. She's getting in my head. If I drop that spell, I'm bit and I'm down. And that's not what I need on my team. That's not what I need at that moment. So immediately we ceased. Let's go outside. You need to step outside when you take a breather and talk a second. And I know the value of it. I get it. But for me, it was that mental state. You can't have me questioning things of my forward movement, or else I'm gonna get a lot more hurt than you. That thing. And it's kind of weird to think about because we always want to protect, people around. But yeah, it's dangerous if I guess you apply a narrative that isn't appropriately designed for the specific individual. Maybe that's the way to put it. Everything's customized. Not to say there wasn't a danger, and not to say all that stuff, but I had it under control. And her trust was broken. She now did not trust me as a unit in the team, and that endangered the entire circle. That endangered the entire pyramid. So yeah, I literally call back to the first thing we said. I think, Anthony, trust on a team.
You need
Absolutely.
trust.
I love that. Yeah.
Who's your backup?
Yep.
If something happens, who's your backup? And that's the main thing, especially in locations.
Be safe, ground, meditate, do what you have to do, but trust.
You go in locations. I mean, I've been in locations that are like abandoned, empty buildings and stuff like that.
Lost the flashlight.
Yeah, and you go in there and it's what happened? You lost your flashlight?
Well, it went out. I mean, it's been on for a while, so probably just.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were doing the flashlight thing.
No, I just had a big old flashlight to give me a little front light.
The little mag light thing,
Yeah, well, I can't find my light bulb in my my flood, so I'll try to work on the fly. But you were going, Anthony. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you go like now. I'm an old man. You can't. I mean, I lose train of thought very easy. Yeah.
Well, I have ADD too.
Same. I'm gone.
But what do you call it? What was I saying? Oh boy,
Pizza.
Oh, yeah. Well, I had this good slice the other day.
I wish that would have brought it back. You were saying locations and protection and trust.
Yeah, it's trust. Well, when you go to like a location and you're walking around like really like abandoned and there's nobody there and it's just you and like this building that was like an old asylum or some kind of hospital stuff. You're walking around and it's not like so much you're going to be afraid. The spirits, whatever, might come out, whatever. You got to worry about the living.
I tell people that all the time. It's a homeless people. It's a raccoon. It's a hole in the ground.
Yeah, raccoon, the animals.
The bats.
Great dogs. The bats. Oh, the bats are great. The bats, when they come down on you and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And just to have somebody backing you, because there's some of the places out here now, out in Long Island, by me, they're actually like gangs going there, and the people going
Oh,
there with drugs and
gotta
stuff.
be safe. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you go into these locations, and then you start seeing, it's like, okay, you're out. Because you also got expensive equipment if you have cameras and everything
Of
else.
course, of course.
You know?
And there's I tell people, and I've been telling people from day one, this scenario just made sense to me, right? Safety, physical safety. Know your area before you go in. It's like do a day
Yeah.
walk. If you're doing a hard investigation there, walk
Mhm.
around in the daytime, see where things can be that can be dangerous.
Mhm.
Especially in a lot of stuff I went to early on. It seems like there's a lot more control in a lot of these places that we go to now, but there are still those places that have the holes in the ground, right?
Yeah, you gotta be careful of
Yeah,
that.
you just gotta
Everything
know.
goes dark.
I don't do the history. I wait till the history till afterwards because I like to see if things work out. But
Mhm.
when it comes to area, that's not a big deal. I just want to make sure I'm safe.
Yeah. When it comes to safety, I was a safety director for the apprenticeship in
Oh, nice.
Wyoming.
Okay.
And the first thing when you go into a location, you find exits,
Yeah.
safe exits, because you don't know if you go to like an abandoned place and a fire breaks out. Now what? Because somebody in there cooking something, doing something, a homeless person.
Exactly.
You need to know how to get out of those locations. That's the most important thing. People don't realize that.
Back in I want to say 2014, maybe 2015. I could be wrong on the date, but the point is the story came. It was in Europe somewhere, and this is my vagueness of the story. The idea of the story is really the point. This couple, husband and wife, they went. I don't know. I was going to say parkouring. What do they call it when they just urban X? Urban X
Urban
into a haunted
exploring.
yeah, into a haunted location. They went in the dark nighttime, and these are adults, right? It was a real cool place, out in that way. But they went in the dark, and when they started walking down, they both took a step in an elevator shaft that went down
Oh my god.
floors. They both died. That's the end of their story.
Mhm.
And it's
Well,
just because they didn't look down. They didn't situational awareness. Where are you stepping? Like
That's right.
it's not a step. It's a far long.
About this
And-
all the time.
And what's on the bottom? Like what do they run into?
Yeah.
Glass, pole. I mean, I'm sure it
Just
wasn't
the top
pretty.
of an elevator could be down there.
Yeah,
It's not the
yeah,
fall that kills you; it's the sudden landing.
yeah, yeah. Well, I say the number one cause of death is actually life.
You never know what you're gonna hear here. Sorry.
Yeah,
everyone.
am I right? It's not the
No,
fall.
you're totally right. I am not challenging that. That's
We're
accurate.
very uncomfortable with stories like this, so we make jokes to get past it.
I mean, you have to because it happens, and it's sometimes because of ignorance or just people don't want to take the time and look for their safety first.
No, they just want to jump right into the investigation.
And I've never snuck onto a property. Even even my teens, when I started at 19 to go on site, I still called landlords. I called property management. I called caretakers, local PD if necessary. Let them know I'm in the area. It was a lot of outside locations when I was first starting. I didn't think about jumping to houses right away. I didn't know how to do that, but I would let people know. Like I didn't want to give a bad rap to what I was doing, and the overall thing that we were doing of ghost hunting.
Yeah, and if you don't know who to call, you can even call like the local police and just that you wanted to like investigate, and you're only going to be there for a little while. And
I've made many of those calls,
Mm-hmm.
and they're usually cool with it. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's
we invited police into locations when they went to check on us.
They get the best stories sometimes.
Oh man, yeah. I got a fun video on. It was on Amazon Prime. Actually, Nick, his name was on the production side of it, but really it was his platform. I did all the work, edited wise, and
presentation, and it actually ended with the spirit box saying, "The police are here. Get out. Get out. The police are coming." And we're like, "You want us out?" Like we're trying to shuffle this noise that we're finding, and long and behold, the police were there. We caught them, and I put some of it in the cut. Someone called the police on us. They thought that we just were kids and snuck into this place. They didn't know that we knew the owners and we had permission, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And I think the police do serve great value towards what we do as well, because there's a reason why they got into their career. Most of them are empaths. They do, they are.
Right.
It's very few and far between that there is an issue with police officers, and I want people to understand that they're not all jerks. They're there to help you, but a lot of them do enjoy. I know a lot of police officers who are into.
Yeah, I know a lot of investigators at PD.
Absolutely.
We have many friends that are police officers that have gotten into this, and they really love what they do. So
people are people, like what gives us value, kind of going back to the original meaning of life scenario. Like what gives people value? This is a joy. This is the discovery moments. And I even told people, though I may be non-systematic, and that's me, whatever the way maybe, I'm happy with that. I sat in front of a large group. It was like, I want to say 2018, 2019, one of those. And I told them, shame on anyone for if they challenge your system, because that's not the point. The point is I'm trying to find the mechanic, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But if you're happy because of this, your culture, your community, I go, then be happy, own it, go in 100%. I was on this kick for a while where I wanted people to own what they believed in 100%, no matter what it was. Because I felt like if they went halves, that would do more damage in the afterlife. And then that might be what we're dealing with. And that could still be a narrative we can discuss. But I think I'm at a different place now with that, clearly. But I still think ownership is a key to happiness, right? Like you don't want to be mixed, even if it sounds weird. Own it. I'd ghost hunt.
Yeah, and I talk about it all the time now. I do what I do. I say paranormal investigating is a way of life. It's a way of life. That's just what I like to do. And I think about it 24 hours. What can I do next? Where can I go? Who am I going to investigate with and stuff like that? And even with the podcast, me and Maureen talk. Who are going to put on the show? We could talk about stuff like with the paranormal or cryptics or UFOs or something.
It's like getting a tattoo. You just want more and more and more and more.
I tell people that I trained myself wrong as an adult. I did everything wrong as an adult. I feel like I'm good at this ghost hunting thing. Afterlife research does sound fancy.
Isn't it great when you go to like a Paracon and everybody's on the same level as you?
It's wild, so bizarre.
It's everybody's listening to you. You could talk to anybody and they understand or they relate to you or something, or they just listen to you and they learn something from you, or you learn something from them.
Absolutely.
I don't care how long you're in this, you always learn from somebody.
I'm still learning. I told someone years ago, always learning.
But when you go to these Paracons, everybody is on the same page as you. It's like a weight off your chest, because in the street, if you talk to people, I tell everybody what I do, and you always get the mix. Some people are, hey, that's cool, and you get other people like, why are you doing that? Well, the best is, you're looking for demons. That's demon. The devil's going to get you one day.
That's the church.
Like, oh boy,
yeah.
The church.
Praying for your soul, and it's like, good. I love to have people praying for me because all the protection I could get, I love it.
Well, I tell people, pray for me. I fist bump and, let's pray for me. Please, I am not stopping. I even prayed for someone in the parking lot literally a week ago. They were having a bad moment. I couldn't give much, but I gave them my last dollar literally. because I'm like, what am I going to do with this? You take it, and someone else was praying for them. They're homeless, and before I walked in, I just leaned down by him and touched him on the shoulder and just joined in the prayer with them. Because I mean, it's important, I want that.
You have to be grounded by something,
Exactly.
Religion or some sort of belief or something. You need to be grounded before you could, because
I think that's an element of life,
Yeah.
Like it's just. I think you said it the best way. You got to be grounded. What grounds you? What keeps you? What keeps you moving forward? What's that drive? Yeah, I like it.
Whatever.
I want answers.
You want what?
I want answers. As a kid, my mom used to call me Curiouser and Curiouser because it was why, when, who, where, what, why, what, and she'd be like, "Go to your room."
I went to Catholic school. You don't have to tell me about questioning things.
Before I was grounded all the time.
I get that. Answers. No one. Yeah, it's it's so fascinating. Why did we choose the world's hardest puzzle? It was meant to happen.
Maybe we're the people that are involved in this. Maybe we're the smartest.
I definitely. I haven't seen no dummies in what we do. Be honest with you, we might have different outlooks, right? I can agree with that. We may have different tactics, different ways to go around it, but people that are open enough and that are willing to challenge it, that are in it, that are developing, experiencing, enthusiasts even. I think some of them are the best, most intelligent people that I've ran into. If you think about it, if intelligence, let's say breaking down I haven't looked at Webster, so I don't know the actual definition, but to me, intellect is the idea of comprehension of a mechanic. It's not that you know how to build a car, but you know that a car needs 4 tires to move. Like you get it, but I don't know how to do it, but that makes sense to me. At least have the ability to think outside in the bigger picture going, oh, I see what you're doing. All right. Not no, that doesn't make sense, or no, because of this. I don't know.
You need
intelligent
to be open-minded, and you need common sense.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's how you look at something. You get evidence, and you look at it like, okay, how did this happen? And you try to, I'm going to use the word debunk. And you try to, it's easier than saying all the other words. And you try to figure out what's going on there.
Right.
And that's where the common sense comes in, because a lot of people don't in the real world. And when you get into this, you need a little bit of that just to see how things are functioning, just to realize you got to be open-minded to everything.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no harm in that. Like, that's not, I think people that are strong and that are open-minded, they're not going to have their world shook this way and that way. It's but enhancements to their world could potentially be there. I don't know, just absolutely open-mindedness.
Yeah, that's what you have to be open-minded with all this. Nothing moved back to you yet. What happened?
I'm so okay. Everyone, come out. We're ready.
It's like a surprise party.
Yeah. You could
it's like a
New York right now.
Pee Wee Herman episode. All of them are going to be like, ah! Today's magic word. It's ghost.
Open the door. Something just flip over or something in back.
I'm disappointed. I have balloons right by me from such a cool convention. None of them have popped yet. Shame.
No, that'd be great if they pick up and they float behind you.
You know what? As soon as we sign off with you, everything's gonna go.
I would love to take you downstairs or go upstairs, but that's when I lose you guys. That'd be a good way to exit. Be like, so guys, this is what freeze, gone.
Yeah. I know before you were like, those free faces.
I would have loved to be downstairs. It's been so active down there, but probably have some good faces.
That's
all the balloons are gonna pop at the same time.
Boom!
That'd be aggressive, but I'll take it.
You take it.
It's like everyone in chat,
intent, make the balloons pop. Focus, focus, focus. Use that prayer.
Focus on the at least one.
At least one. Well, let me look. Let me do a real hard look.
That'd be awesome if one just
That would be cool.
because that's on command.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Then we gotta take this on the show. we gotta, or take this on the road. Take the show on the road.
We gotta listen to the audio on this tonight because we gotta be getting AVPs and back of you.
You know, I tell you, I think we're gonna, high potential of getting EVP. That might be exciting.
This could be like Dimensions of the Supernatural, the Aaron G. Thompson show.
Oh, I like it. Oh, sorry. My battery's like, it's about to die, but we got plenty of time, guys.
We could stay on all night long. We just keep on going. It doesn't matter to me. Tomorrow I got to get up, get ready, and then head out to meet Ron and Lourdes, and then go out to Buffalo. Going to shuffle me out to Buffalo, and that's where the Death Walker is. I'm looking forward to that.
Nice. You should. I want to hear about that. I'm happy to see that the Dead Walker series is still going. I've got to drive to Chicago tonight. It's about a 3-hour drive from where I'm at after the show. But I think I'm going to meet a buddy of mine. I haven't seen in a hot second for a drink before I go, but we'll see. I was going to make some rings. So busy. Been busy. I want to make these rings.
So these
I love making the rings. What was that?
What's special about your rings? Are they like
that I make them? Wow, Maureen. Jeez.
Well, no, I mean, like, is there something else beyond that? Of course, that's something.
I know.
Really nice, so really nice
and you know, and it's kind of funny. So people, I think they put value into what they see, right? So with me, there might be a couple elements of value, and I admit I was on a TV show, right? So that people may want a ring based on me being on a TV show. Fine. I made them because I'm a nerd and I wanted to see something glow in the dark, but I wanted the best glow in the dark thing that I can do. So I needed to learn how to make it because it's way too expensive to buy from the other guy. So I learned when 2020 hit, I bought stuff. I started learning how to make it with my family and whatnot, and messing up royally, and cost me a lot more than if I would have just bought one again. But I had the opportunity once the show hit to present it. And so what I do is, yes, there's glow powder, customized glow elements in there, but I do memorial rings. So in some aspects. So now we have a very important item. I've put dog fur in them of a past dog. I've put I mean, mind you, you feel the vibes off of some of those, which is a bit intense, actually. I've done tiger's eye, meteorite, dinosaur bone. I just customize a color combination and a material with them. I've got actually a blessed St. Michael's pendant that was given to me by a demonologist on the TV show. So it's more of a memento, but I chopped it up and put it in my ring. Glows bright. People put protection items, in there. They want me to do different stones for different attributes. I'm sure, Maureen, I guess I don't know, but I'm sure you're very familiar with rocks, how they rock, them vibrations.
Yes.
So turquoise. Yeah, opal. I love opal. I love white opal.
See, this is why I asked, because I knew something was telling me that there was something else to this than just the fact that you made it.
It's very metaphysically. It's very ghost huntery. It's very our world.
About every single one of them, then.
They're all unique. They're like a tattoo. And you mentioned tattoo earlier. I in some cases I speak to the individual and we design almost like a tattoo. We get the color, the day, the glow color, and we see what items need to be.
I need one of these. See.
AaronGThompson.com/glow rings pays the bills, everyone, and lets me feed my little girl. So
I'm all in.
Yeah, and I need to put it. Actually, that's probably what I'll do after this. I need to get on my laptop, and you can do black porcelain. I'm going to do for
black porcelain and tungsten, the highest quality. For October, I'm pushing out black porcelain if people want to do it. I don't really work with it too often. I have before. It looks beautiful. But it seems to be a good Halloweeny option if people want it.
Nice.
So that's just gonna be for October, and then I'll probably close off this attribute of making the rings by the end of this year. At least taking orders. It'll go until I get finished with making, everything. But I've got a new adventure that I'm going forward with, so it's going to take a lot of time, and I'm going to combine all that with the paranormal and get right back into the heavy research. So grab a ring while you can, guys. If you're thinking about it, do
I'm signing on now because I don't want to be like last.
Get it, please. So
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the rings, I mean, I've seen pictures of them, and they're really nice. They are nice.
I'm a nerd, and I'm obsessed with what I do, and somehow my ADD and my obsession turned to these rings because I bought. How many did I buy? I bought 6 of them, about for $400 each, back throughout the years, and I remember I must have lost some weight, so my ring didn't fit me well, and I wanted it, so I just decided, let's see if I can do it myself. And I tell you what, I gotta say, I'll say I'm better quality than the guy that I originally bought it from at this point, just because I'm learning constantly on the application process. It's interesting.
You could put ashes inside of these.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite. I got quite a few I got to work on. Sadly, I'm gonna ghost. I say that loosely, ghost for the next 2 weeks. But when I get a chance, I'm gonna jump right back into and just ring, and knock them all out.
That's so amazing.
I plan on doing some tonight, but we're actually getting pretty late, so I'll probably have to push those a little bit. But yeah, I like it.
You have ADD? I got ADD too.
Oh my gosh, it's a superpower, but it's.
That's me, a dull dual, ADD.
I love it.
I'm a dull guy. I'm just
It helps with multitasking, though.
And it's nice if you. So I got a hyper focus scenario, which is kind of cool. I guess they relabeled it, but
everything's relabeled.
I know.
You give another 10 years, I'll call it something else.
So
They'll call it normal. They'll call it normal.
Yeah, right. So I'm hyper focused if I want to do the thing. So like rings, I want to do it. I'm hyper focused. Ghost hunting, I want to do it. I'm hyper focused.
If it's
I love doing these. Don't get me wrong, but this is a moment where I'm scatterbrained.
I don't do math well, so I'm like, I'll go, okay, so today I want to learn about ghosts. So I'll sit down and I'll just go down the rabbit hole. The math will be on the other side of the room, and it's
the math doesn't math. What's going on?
The math is I don't math well.
1 ghost, 2 ghosts, 3 ghosts, 4.
That I can do.
Oh, are you sure? 1 ghost, 2 ghosts, 3 ghosts, boo ghosts. No, I tried something there.
No, somehow I can math that, but it's just because there's ghosts involved.
What do you have coming up? You got a bunch of things coming up.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to update my calendar after, by the end of this month or so forth. But next year is getting pretty good. Coming up, the mid Michigan, which is going to be huge. I believe November 4th and 5th. A lot of super cool talent. Nick and I and Sean are all going to be present there from the TV show. I believe Shane is going to be there too, if I recall, from the TV show. 28 Days Haunted. Netflix guys, let's get it moving back up on the algorithm. But so that's going to be on the Mid Michigan Paracon, November 4th and 5th. I want to say it's 4th and 5th. That's like Friday and Saturday. So that's my last thing this year. Somehow I dodge a lot of paranormal things. I turned down a few this month. I just honestly, I got a 5-year-old, right? I'm missing a lot of weekends with her, so I just need to get back with her and take her trick or treating, take her on these events the best I can. So there's a lot of that.
And does she love what you do?
She loves it. You know, I took her ghost hunting. She was 3, and a couple of times afterwards, she's a trooper. She doesn't have a fear of the boogeyman. That was the fear when she was getting into it. After she did that, the fear of the boogeyman was gone. So it's kind of interesting with her in her own comprehension of what's going on. She removed that negative element of
Then
the
don't
fantasy.
have her watch The Boogeyman, the movie.
It's such a good, terrifying movie with Ashton Kutcher, right?
This is another one that's new. It's just as terrifying.
because the I remember the original one, like 2000, 2001, like it was PG-13, so I really like gave it no real, like, I didn't think it was going to do anything, but its suspense could give you a heart attack. They nailed it.
This is like whatever you start to see, like just because you can't, when you're a kid, you can't let your feet hang over the edge of the bed.
Oh yeah,
You can't sleep in a bed without covers on. You can't look at, like, as soon as the closet door starts to open a little bit, whatever's in there, this thing will give you nightmares, heart attacks, a stroke, whatever comes along with
Exciting.
It's like the suspense, the jump scare, like everything that goes along with it. It's terrifying, and nothing really scares me.
Right?
None.
Right. I learned from my little girl, it's suspense equals horror. That equals scary, the suspense. And I get that. That makes sense, I guess. It's not a monster.
How movies were made back in the day. Those movies were made like that. In 2000, was it not in the 80s? That's when like The Shining came out with all that blood and all these.
Shining is brutally awesome.
Movies.
One of the best.
That was all like, look at Psycho, the original Psycho, and all that. The only thing
Carrie was. You know, I saw Carrie and Shining for the first time within the last like 8 years, so fairly recent, really? Honestly, in large scale, and it hit. It still hits. So I was expecting an old, washed up, movie. I don't know what I was, whatever. No, I'll put a stamp on saying that they're some of the most horrific movies, and they're beautifully awesome.
I think one of the scariest movies I've ever seen, and this is going to sound completely lame because it was made for TV.
Stephen King's It.
No.
Oh.
It was Stephen King, but it was made for TV, and it was like an 8-hour movie, so it was in like chunks every night.
Okay. The Fog.
I was by myself. It was dark. Rose red.
Oh,
yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
And I was literally like this. And I was in my 20s, and I could feel my stomach like clench, and I just couldn't stop watching. And that little hand,
Stephen King's It did me, made for TV.
You got it. Yep.
And it was because I was at that point I was 7, 8. I was right around that age.
Oh, shut
and
up.
Tim Curry crushed it. But at that point, I like Nightmare on Elm Street. I like Friday the 13th. Like I like these gory movies. Like that was my genre. Even as a kid, I was like, I love it. So I can handle this made-for-TV thing. The problem with made-for-TV is they left too much imagination up here for how to fill in the blank. It was the worst. I hated it. Worst idea, Fox. You should have just gave us the gore, so I didn't have to think about it.
Every little corner that they turned.
That movie, Thriller of Terror, with that little doll. You remember that one with Karen?
What movie?
Chili. I'm not saying it right, but
okay.
Of Terror. It was a little.
I think I know what you're talking about.
There goes my tongue.
It's fairly new, like 2008, right?
Oh no, I'm talking about this is like the 70s. Karen Black, I think, started her career at that time. Now she's dead.
Oh no, what happened?
Yeah, and it wasn't one of the movies either. But it was like this little doll, and she bought it for somebody that collects these African dolls.
That'd be scary.
And the chain falls off the doll, and the doll comes to life.
This is coming back to me now, and
But it's like
definitely been copycat.
At that time, it was back then. It was like scary, but now it's like it's like it's a little doll. It's like a little dog, and it's from what they have now to back then. But back then it was scary because she's trying to get the doll underneath the couch and the thing's stabbing her with a knife and everything. So it was
Ron
pretty
saying
cool.
the short doll with the spear. It did have a spear, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
it did have a spear, but then it picked the knife up.
But my new favorites are anything by Mike Flanagan with Blumhouse.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
the haunting of
Oh, a house on Blythe. Okay.
there's
Yes.
2 of them.
I want to see them. I saw like the first episode, I think, of both of them.
Or
I
Hill
just
House.
wasn't in a place to watch them.
The haunting on Hill House, and then Bly Manor.
Yes, they're
And
good.
they're terrifying. I mean, like they're scary.
That's awesome. I'm excited. I'm totally gonna watch it sometime because that's one on the list of my life that I want to see.
Well, now they just released his Fall of the House of Usher, and they're saying that it's just as creepy.
I've been watching it. That's pretty cool.
It's made by
cool.
it was like a Poe story that they redid.
It's on Netflix, I think it was. I've been watching it. As a matter of fact, I started watching it this morning.
Oh my god! Now I have to start watching it tonight.
I was at a convention. It was the Wendigo Fest in Wisconsin a couple of weekends ago, or last weekend, I guess, no, less than a week ago. I was there, and right next to my booth was the guy who played Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th. But it was the guy who played him on Freddy vs. Jason. I believe some post versions of him, but he played like Mike Myers. Like, I mean, these are like big like names that this dude put the mask on. How cool is that? Like,
That's really cool.
To be in like monster movies.
Yeah. How much acting do they do? Also, they're running in the forest, and these big creatures, these big monsters are chasing them.
The guy was huge. He's like 6'6".
They're walking. Also, they're running like a mile away, and also they turn there in front of them.
There's probably a skill there. I don't want to dog on it too much. There's probably definitely a skill.
I would love to be doing that.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be so fun.
Ron
Just think of the connection, the networking you have to do for that. I'm sure it's a lot of networking. There's so much networking and connection for that. Because I don't see them, as you stated, open auditions.
We're not big enough for that. They're not tall and.
Yeah, you have to be very specific. That would be funny. Open auditions. Here's your monologue. It doesn't have anything but ... Go for it.
Yeah, all you gotta do is look tough and walk.
Yeah,
wear a lot of makeup. Yeah,
that'd be fun though. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that is
We were supposed to have Anthony. Who was it that was supposed to be on the show, but then he had a problem?
Oh, yeah, he played a bunch of different. Oh, I forgot. I got to get back to him too.
It was like one of the Hollywood.
Matter of fact, the 3 of them are together. The guy.
Well, one of them passed. There's 4 of them maybe, and then one passed.
Played Chainsaw Massacre and
Leatherface. Jason, the Jason who did the most. Kane Hodder.
Kane
Hodder.
Rick
Yeah.
McCallum. That's who we're supposed to have.
That's
somebody else.
Rick. Oh no, it's Rick. Rick. Ron just put his name up there.
Yeah.
McCallum, whatever.
So
his name.
I didn't announce this, but I just told Ron. I was in the running to do a magazine spread with Kane Hodder. I can't remember what it was, but I lost in the last round by like 2 to be in that group.
Oh.
I know.
You know what?
But I didn't
tell
anybody about it, so I didn't really have everybody voting for me.
I almost was Prince Charming, so we both. So
you are.
Officially in Disney, I almost was. Turned it down. That was a couple beers ago, though.
At least you have the beer.
Yes.
I almost was Shrek.
Face character.
You're nuts.
At least they didn't actually be Jafar or something. That'd been terrible.
Oh, don't care.
Shrek would be cool.
I'm
didn't
the
have too much of
gin.
an Irish accent.
All right, guys. I hate to close this off, but I may be at 2%.
That's
Oh.
okay. We should have finished 10 minutes ago. We're just chit-chatting.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
Aaron,
The
thank
love
you.
of the paranormal.
You
Yes.
are amazing. You can come
Thank
back
you.
anytime.
Thank you so much, both of you guys. This was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're up this way, let us know.
Yeah,
Get you to share
absolutely.
Definitely. I know
Absolutely.
we want you to share
I'm gonna
with
send
you.
you a
That
friend
way we'll get
request.
somewhere.
Yeah, definitely need to get the Shirley no matter what. We'll see what we can do.
You know, we had Tracy on watching tonight, so she's the manager.
Cool. So she's aware, Tracy, I got a message for you in the Shanley. Should I be like a wrestler, like a pro wrestler? I'm the Shanley.
She's
I'm
like
ready to
this
be
big.
broken into.
She's a tough girl.
Spirits,
She's
brother.
tough. You know, get you going. Oh, we're going to Shanley together.
That'd be a weird gimmick. If someone like, I don't know, I feel like some people need to start doing more gimmicks with ghost hunting. Still do like true ghost hunting, but like be like a professional wrestler, like out like Ultimate Warrior looking guy just runs in there ghost hunting.
And tonight,
I mean, I would watch that oddly enough.
Elizabeth's
The demon. Oh, could see it.
I
like
love
this.
this show.
Yeah,
This was so much
we had a
fun.
good time. I'm glad you came and you agreed to be on tonight. So,
Thank you.
know, and we'll definitely meet you at a Paracon somewhere along the line. If not, at Shanley.
Yeah, good people kind of hover around one another in this thing, and I've definitely repeated visits with awesome people. So you guys and I will definitely see each other.
Yes, yes.
I would love that.
Any
I just
balloons pop yet before we go? Any balloons pop?
No. Oh wait, hold on.
wait. If you turn around and said all of them, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
No, but it didn't pop. I was here though.
You didn't pop one.
Though I almost. It's funny you said that because when I stood up, I almost stepped on one. It would have been.
That would have been good. Pop. Hey.
You know, I've had practices or moments, hopefully before my phone kicks me off, that the energy itself tends to use us as tools more so than we feel we may be using them. As I've asked to do, for them to do things, and in a series of events, the thing has been done accidentally by me or my team. It's bizarre. It's been a fairly recent notice, but so with me stepping on the balloon, that honestly, I would have been like, huh.
You had the audience all going nuts.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. Should have someone like a white sheet running behind me.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Somebody running back and forth with a white sheet goes, ooh.
And the cool thing is, if I'm like, I don't see what are you guys talking about? What's
I hope the next time we have you on, you got to have somebody running behind you with sheets.
Yeah, I'll get some people on this. I'll see if I can hook up, go downstairs into the, it's active all around this place, but I mean, downstairs has been on fire lately, so.
Probably not literally.
Yeah. Thank you. No, it's safe.
That's good.
All right, guys.
We love you so much.
Thank you.
Please come
Thank
back
you.
anytime. I don't think we're even done talking at this point because
We're not.
we could discuss.
If your phone's about to die, we could have been on another hour or so.
No. We could just take it till the phone dies. We'll see how long we can risk it. Risk it for the biscuit.
Doesn't Bobby have a show tonight at 10? Does he have a show tonight at 10? I always get this wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's 10 or 10:30. Yeah, we always go to like 10, so. Like before 10.
You want to stay?
Yeah, we got
me.
Maybe
I gotta get to Chicago. I probably gotta run here soon.
You gotta go to Chicago.
Yeah, I got about 3 hours. It's gonna be tired, and if I even contact the guy for an old buddy of mine for a quick drink, I got some business stuff to talk with him.
Very important.
What time's it by you right now?
What was that?
What time's it by you?
It's 8:44.
All right, so you're an hour.
Yeah.
Hour.
So it's not too bad. I think if I do any rings right now, I'm getting too fatigued. I think for the part of the day, I had kind of an exhausting day. It was a good day. A lot of
conversation appropriate. You know, I had to talk, you know, with my mom, long talk, with just some stuff moving forward. It was a really good talk, I gotta say. Hit the gym, really good gym, and then when I got here, I finally got to talk to Lisa about the events, and we just had just a really good day. Just kind of all days are busy. Days they fill up. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Ron just from the station, he just said that a space wave is on after us.
Yeah, that's Bobby.
It's 10 o'clock.
Bobby Space Waves. I hope
Bobby
my mic sounds awesome during the whole show. You guys are kind of my tester.
It does. You sound like a professional DJ.
Oh my gosh, this is
You
great.
sound better than us.
My TikToks are going to be on fire.
On fire.
Yeah, we got to
gotta
start doing dancing TikToks.
You got to watch that somewhere. Where do you say that? Yeah, I mean, it's something like.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this is like, yeah. You know, I've been saying bonkers a lot lately, which is weird. I've never said bonkers as much as I have. I think it's maybe because I have a 5-year-old, but it's only been like the last couple of months.
Bonkers.
I'm like, it's bonkers. It's like I'm trying to, because I have a potty mouth a lot of times, and it's like I'm just, my brain's forcing other words to come out that are impactful.
Is that not one of the words that people feel offensive? That's bonkers. I feel offended.
Yeah. Oh, they'll be offended. Yes. Someone will find a way. I was killed by a bonk on the head. Oh, I guess my father was killed by a bonk on the head. There we go. Bonkers.
Bonkers.
Oh man.
My God. This is so much fun.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have to schedule again.
Yes.
We'll get you back.
Absolutely.
Get you back with Sean and
On Nick.
Nick.
Oh my God. That would be like out
The
of
three of you
control.
on here.
That'll be fun. Oh yeah, I was gotta message Sean, tell him about my newfound magic, and maybe a good conversation on the way to Chicago. See.
Yep. I know that.
Tell him that was
Sean's a talker, by the way, too. So
Yeah, no, we had him on the show, and I did about 4 investigations with him already.
oh nice, cool.
We did investigations
I did
together.
one investigation with him.
Yeah. We did. Matter of fact, the Shanley's one of them.
Nice.
My husband got to meet him in Gettysburg.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah.
He's a fun character. I like Sean.
A couple times.
Yeah.
Oh my,
He
seems like
was
there's a
really
story.
good with himself, and he kept on introducing himself.
Hi, I'm Sean.
He's like, hi, Sean Austin, not the guy from Goonies.
No, 10 minutes later. Hi, I'm Sean. 10 minutes later. Hi, I'm Sean.
He was really good.
Oh gosh, I'm sure I repeated myself before. Of course I have.
Probably not 75 times.
Oh gosh. Now I'm going deep thought of what have I repeated 1,000,001 times. My current girl, yeah, my little girl, she accepts it.
So
Maybe.
We are
I
all very
think
excited.
Bobby's giving us the hint that he wants to get ready. What time is it? It's almost.
It's 9:48.
Yeah. So I have a safe trip to Chicago.
Thank you, and you guys have a wonderful trip to New York, Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo.
Only
Shuffling off.
Hey,
Buffalo.
there you go. Cool.
Yeah,
Visit the Hinsdale house. Say hi to Dan.
Yeah, Dan's a producer, so he'll be there.
Yeah, he'll
Cool.
be there.
Yeah,
Cool,
yeah,
cool,
I've been
cool.
to his house quite a few
I
times.
like Dan. I miss him. It's been a while since I've seen him.
He's a sweetheart.
I'll see him at the Mid Michigan. He's going to be there too. It's going to be a big reunion.
Nice.
November
I
4th.
get out there. I got to get out there too.
I think it's going to be cool. I'm excited for this one. I'm really excited for the one in January, and I'm the worst at dates. I'll put it on my calendar. It's in January. It's
Where
at
you
the Bell
at?
Mansion, and it has the entire cast of 28 Days Haunted. I'm super excited for that. We got Aaron Sager, of course, all the houses, all the talent. It's as a fan of the situation, and being on. I'm literally excited. I think it's just going to be explosive.
Are they
So.
picking up another season of it?
NDA trying to get me sued. Come on.
Anthony.
As of now, we don't know. We'll see. Pending.
NDA, buddy.
No. No, it's not happening.
Yeah.
I can't talk about it.
I don't know what you know. I really haven't heard anything yet, but we'll see what happens after the season.
Leave place if you're not in trouble.
Oh, I'm almost out of contract with them.
It's like, you want to stay in contract. So,
Yeah, well, yeah, right.
it's like, stay in contract. No, it's not happening.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the 29th day. Just one more day. Just one more day.
Just 29th day.
It's like, oh, that's a weird sequel.
The 29th and then
On the 13th.
I know they're having on leap year, right?
Season 2, we're having Sandra Bullock join us.
Yeah.
In a bus that's speeding.
29 days in February. Every 4 years.
Yeah, Oh, that would age us fast. Season 1, 2 to 3 to 4. They can do it. Yeah, very fun. You know that we should do like some silent, like every 4 years, do like the same one, but then like take all that data and make one show with it and act like we're just aging ridiculously. Day 13. I'm starting to hear voices.
All gray
I'm
hair
hungry.
with beards, with canes.
I'm starting to hear voices, which is crazy because I can't hear shit.
Oh, yeah.
Out of my left ear, my right one is actually
Your
ringing.
white ear.
My white ear is ringing terribly.
Oh my gosh. Classic metaphysical practitioner.
So,
You like that term, metaphysical practitioner? Then I don't get shamed on calling someone a psychic or a medium. They don't give me the definitions. It's like, okay, you're practicing the woo-woo. It's important. It is.
You wouldn't believe all the people who just totally make me look like an idiot. It's not me, it's them.
Oh gosh. Yeah, people are people.
So I think we're going to have to give Bobby some time to get on his show there.
I think Anthony's kicking us off, Maureen.
Yeah,
You hear this?
Kicking you off?
No, I gotta go. My phone's about to kick us off. I'm lucky I'm still here.
After we broadcast off, we can still talk all night.
I'm like at 0%. I swear, I don't see anything, and it's not giving me the percentage.
Convene at breakfast.
We had one guest stay on. We turned off at normal time. And we still shot afterwards till like midnight.
That's fun. That's because we're nerds, and this is what we like. It's easy. It's easy. Oh, so easy. All right, guys. I love you. Thank you so much for having me.
Great having you, man.
Super appreciate it.
Definitely.
Dimensions of the Supernatural. Stay with us on Thursday, 7:30 to 9:30 East Coast time. I am Maureen Grudzinski with my amazing co-host Anthony Simonelli, otherwise known as
Mr. Forget About It. Have a good night. Remember, you want to be safe out there. You want to look for ghosts, not become one.
next week is our
Forget
1
about
year.
it.
Next week is next week is our 1 year anniversary, and we will be with Jerry Holt. See you next week.
See you